The Orville returned after hiatus. I didn't get to watch this one right away because I was out of town at Star Wars Celebration. And this one, definitely the worst episode. That's not really saying very much because just like Star Wars, the Orville has kind of become like a sign of quality. Even as bad episodes are still better than the majority of the stuff that's on TV. This one did not have more than one storyline. It was only one storyline, and the character John was actually missing in this episode. And at one point, I think that one of something that he probably would have done, the line was given to Gordon instead. And it's another episode that focuses on the Moglins. This is definitely the writing room's favorite species, and I get why. I mean, it was made to be the social commentary one about gender and religious values and blah 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 blah, all that. The episode did not have, sorry, getting rid of some hair, much of a comedic tone to it, except for a musical part where they played a song. The second time it's played really takes you out of the action because it's played during an action scene. This one I'd probably think twice about watching again if I was watching it as a continuation, like if I was like binge watching the season. And yeah, now we'll go to the recap. What do you think of the episode? Comment down below and have a good one. The episode starts out with Ed, Kelly, and Bortus having a message from one of the admirals. It's the one from Legends of Tomorrow, saying how they're going to be picking up two Moglin scientists because all the ships are being retrofitted with new armor and new weapons. Ed goes, we're starting to feel like a taxi service, and hey, it's the least we can do for them for doing all this for us. They go to Moglin, and they pick up the two guys. While there, their ship is being retrofitted with new stuff. Ed says it's great how it's all the upgrades are going well, and the Moglin who's doing it says it's all worked perfectly, and he's going to leave. Then they get a message that the two people they are going to be taking to a research vessel have arrived, and Tala is ordered by Ed to go down and meet them. She does, offers to take their bags. They say no, they're fine holding them. Walks them to their room. They ask to please be left alone because they are very private individuals. She says fine. They look at one another. They check the room, make sure they're alone. They open the case. And what's in the box? The one of the reasons I didn't like this episode very much is, as I've said in my previous episodes, my guessing is usually like balls off the wall type thing, and it's almost always wrong. This time I was right on both occasions. Later, you get a new cameo from a Star Trek alum, this time from Deanna Troi. She's now the new teacher on the ship. And while in class, Bortus's son is being a bit of an a-hole. He's stealing a piece from one of the female classmates, and he tells her that girls are inferior, and his dad tells him that, pushes her to the ground, and this causes the a parent-teacher conference to be put in. Bortus apologizes, but Clyden says, no, Topa, that's his name. He says Topa did nothing wrong in their religion. And Bortus talks to him about the incident. And he says that he'll talk to him later about a punishment. Why am I going to be punished? Papa said I didn't do anything wrong. And he gets sent to his room. On the bridge, Isaac says that there is a power fluctuation coming from the room where the Moglin scientists are staying. Bortus is called during the middle of the fight by Kelly to go check it out. And that if they need more power, all I have to do is ask for it and they will give it someplace else. They do not need to steal it. So he goes. They are literally staying right on the hall because you can see his door still open. He walks out of it and walks over to them. He enters. The guy says that, the food replicator isn't doing his job like he wants it. Bortus goes and checks the food replicator. Nope, not that. You're lying. He goes and looks for the pattern. Walks around, and the power is coming from the suitcase. Demands that they open it. They open it, and inside, this is when I was thinking, okay, yeah, it's probably a baby inside or something, or a person. It's like a woman, and because the Moglins hate women. And yep, it's a baby. And yep, after the commercial break, it was a girl. And they ask Bortus to please don't tell anybody that they are being taken to a sanctuary, that the research vessel is doing them a favor. No one knows, and they don't want the daughter to be forced to change into a man. And they said that he should understand, just like, because he had the same problem. Bortus goes into the school, apologizes to the teacher, asks how Topa's doing, and then takes him out of school early. He takes Topa to meet the two parents of the researchers, and he lets the boy see the little baby. Tells him that, girls aren't as different as we are. There are actually female Moglins born. He doesn't tell him that he was born a girl yet. They're waiting to tell him that. And he says you need to keep it secret, and he says he will. The two leave, depart the ship, and the Moglin ship goes on a merry way. Bortus is doing some checks of weapons, and he's called to the captain's office. There, the bridge crew is there, except for John and Gordon and Isaac. And also in there is Clyden and Topa. Clyden got the information out of Topa and told him about it. How, technically they are basically fugitives running because they are breaking the law, even though Bortus doesn't see it as that, and it could hurt all of their careers. And how do they know that it is not a child being stolen, that those are the two parents? Bortus says he trusts them, and then Clyden and Topa leave. And Ed says they need to plot a course to go after them. But they can't find them anywhere. This is a scene where I thought that maybe should have been John. There's also another one, because of all the people on the ship, Gordon's the one that says that, there's a certain type of trail, like ion trail, whatever, which we could follow to find out where they went. He talks about science stuff, and yep, he's right. And they go after him. And then some giant, leads to a giant pink cloud, and they pilot into it. And inside, they find the star system in there with 3 planets. And on the one planet is life signs, all Moglins. Tala, Kelly, Ed, and Bortus go down to the planet on a away ship. They land, and a bunch of women pop up. This is the other thing, I guess. Maybe it's a sanctuary. Maybe it's a planet full of female Moglins, when they said it's a bunch of Moglins. And yep, bunch of women. I mean, there are a small number of guys there, obviously. I'm pretty sure because you see the parents are there. Like, I think these two would probably end up leaving the planet after the daughter got a little older. Because you don't see any other males on the planet. And if parents are bringing him there, then where are they? And then it leads to they get taken to the leader by the soldier versions of the women, and it's the lady that was at the trial that they ran into. She tells them about how the sanctuary's worked for all these years, how there are more female Moglins born than what the government says, and they just want to live in peace. Ed says he has an idea how they can and become a sovereign state if they go in front of the Union. He talks to the Admiral from Legends of Tomorrow, and he says that it could work, but the Moglins might not like that, the males, and it could lead to them leaving the Union, and they need to proceed with caution. Ed takes the boss lady to Earth, and on the way there, she asks about how do Earth women get to have poetry and equal rights and blah blah blah. And he says, "Oh yeah, there are tons of female writers and musicians and everything. You can look on a computer and find it." And she discovers Dolly Parton, and it's 9 to 5, and she listens to it. On Earth, the Union is meeting the delegates, and they start talking about the matter at hand. Should they become a sovereign state, or should the Moglins get to force them all to be men and then imprison them / kill them? Before the thing even starts, the male Moglins decide that it's an outrage and it's a disgrace to their religion and their ways of life and how they live. But they are told that they can be able to they'll be able to have their chance to speak and let the girl speak her message. She quotes 9 to 5, which was supposed to be a joke, but it didn't land well with me. I didn't laugh at it. And says how they need to be able to live their lives. They all clap, she sits down, and then the male Moglins get up, and it's their turn to speak. Back on the ship, they're all waiting, but another ship is approaching. It's a Moglin ship. What are you doing here? We came here so that the delegates go our way. We can start the evacuation of the planet and put the prisoners in jail. The male Moglins are speaking about how women are inferior and how it's their way of life and how if they don't get their way, they'll leave and go to the Krill. And the Krill will come to them because they have the weapons. All the admirals are meeting and they're talking about the moral dilemma. Legends of Tomorrow and the black guy are on Ed's side and the women's side. And Good Place, and the Asian lady are against them, saying how, well, if they do leave, it could put us on a thing from the Kalons. And Ed points out how they wouldn't really leave because even with the Krill and the Kalon, even with the Krill, the Moglins would still be outnumbered by the Kalon. They need all three to work together. And on the ship, Kelly talks to Bortus and about what are you going to do if it goes away where Moglins leave. And Clyden shows up and says how, we need to make plans for if our species end up leaving the Union. And he ignores Kelly completely, which pisses Bortus off about how you always hated women and you never give her any kind of respect that she deserves. And it's a fight between them, and she goes back to the bridge. And they both are called back up to the bridge about the attack. And they break and the Moglins go up to the Admiral meeting, and they talk about, they want their way. And Ed says how, hey, I can't just have Kelly sit there and do something to tell what to do. And cheekily, the Admiral says that, hey, the message could be lost. She can't do anything, but, the messages could be lost. He tells her this, and she decides that she's going down to the planet. Bortus says that he's coming with her. You need to stay here. We're wasting time arguing about this. And Tala gets the ship. It's the bridge. They start to fly down to the planet, but they are stuck in a tractor beam. Tala tells them to shoot, or tells Gordon to shoot their tractor beam, because if Kelly can end her career, so could she. And the little vessel is released, and the Orville gets into a firefight with the Moglin ship. On the planet, the Moglin males are attacking all the women because this was going on beforehand, because these guys told them to jump the gun. The males of the place. They are rounding up all the women and attacking them. Kelly and Borda show up and start firing. And when this goes on, instead of it being some big action set piece, they start playing 9 to 5, which is another joke, and that also misses. Some of the guns are picked up by the females, and they start also fighting. And the song still plays even when the ship's flying around. And the other part is, if we fly into the thing and turn our engines off, they'll lose us. Another thing that might have been more of a John thing to say, but Gordon said it, and this one, I can kind of see where Gordon might say it, because it's a piloting thing. And they fly in to lose them. The delegates all still discuss, and Ed brings up his fact about how you're not going to leave, because if you do, you'll probably be killed, because you have weapons, but we don't have the size. And the Admiral from tomorrow stands up and says that, here's a way we can settle this. The females won't be taken to prison and killed, but they'll also shut down, so no more females will be able to leave the planet. And the males will get to, change the women that were born on that planet, keep their thing, while they continue to discuss this matter. The fighting continues, but they settle on it. Borda saves the little girl who wanted to say hi to him when they first got there. And male Moglin is beamed back up to their ship. And it's a kind of happy ending. Ed returns with the leader, and she says how every revolution starts with one small victory. And Bordas goes back up to his ship. He sees Topa playing with the girl nicely. He smiles, and the episode's over. As I said, nothing really that great. More of a political episode than anything. The jokes didn't land. And, yep. That's it. What do you think of the episode? Comment down below and have a good one.